Welcome to Roll Call, a 126th Air Refueling Wing podcast of the Illinois Air National Guard at Scott Air Force Base. I'm your host, Technical Sergeant Brian Ellison. The Roll Call podcast focused on people, mission, and community. Thanks for listening. Coming up, we're going to be talking to Second Lieutenant Tameka Garza from SCMS. Hopefully, she'll tell us a little bit about what the mysterious SCMS does. We'll talk about Women's History Month, her mentors, and going from Tech Sergeant to Second Lieutenant. Also, General Van Ovost, the Air Mobility Command Commander on the other side of Scott Air Force Base, may just be moving offices. If you're having thoughts of suicide or know someone in crisis, call the military crisis line, 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. Press 1 for military. There is a chat line also. You can chat through their website, suicidepreventionlifeline.org. That's suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Another way to help is the crisis text line. You can text HELP, H-E-L-P, to 838-255. The crisis text line, again, text HELP to H-E-L-P to text H-E-L-P to 838-255. Air Force Youth Programs is having Teen Aviation Camp in partnership with Air Force Aero Clubs virtually this year. The virtual camp is 14 through 25 June, and it offers an introduction to the field of aviation and opportunities for careers and leadership roles within the Air Force. The camp is a combination of web-based presentations and discussion groups along with self-paced course materials that provide the knowledge to complete, get this, your private pilot exam and begin their journey toward earning a private pilot license. Kids have to have completed their freshman year in high school, be a dependent of an Air Force active duty, Air Force National Guard, DOD civilian employees, and they cannot have previously attended the virtual or in-person Teen Aviation Camp. I'll put a link in the description to the information. Coming up here on Roll Call, we're talking to Second Lieutenant Tameka Garza from Supply Chain Management.
Hi, my name's Senior Airman Gregory Goder. I'm part of the 126 Comptroller flight, and I'm a financial manager here. My day-to-day job would be, I'm an accounting technician basically, so I'm in charge of all the squadron's purchases. I make sure they hit the books correctly. What I like most about being in the 126 is I'm an AGR out here, so I work out here full-time. With that, I get a bunch of opportunities. Traveling is probably my favorite opportunity. I've been to a bunch of cool places like Washington State, which was the first time I've ever been there. I also play on the base softball team, so I get to travel with them quite a bit as well. I joined the Air National Guard because after college, I had a couple jobs I didn't really like, and I wanted to have an impactful career and make a difference on my community. I chose the 126 because I could pretty much stay around all my friends and family and still be part of the Air National Guard. I joined the Comptroller flight because my bachelor's in business management, and it kind of just fell hand in hand with working with finances. But one huge benefit I've been taking advantage of is my full-time employment as an AGR. As an AGR, I get active duty pay, benefits, and everything that goes along with being active duty, but I get to stay home.
Hi, we are the 126 recruiting team. I'm Master Sergeant Heather Wilde, recruiting flight chief. I'm
Technical Sergeant Richard Olson, production recruiter. To learn more about career training with the 126, give us a call at 618-222-5701.
But wait, there's more. Give us a call in the next 5 minutes and you could qualify for 4 years of free college tuition.
We're joined today by Second Lieutenant Tameka Garza from the Supply Chain Management Squadron. Now, ma'am, before we get into the secret cabal of SCMS, I have to ask you, have you checked your new the uniform on your pocket? There's a third button right here. There's a third button on each pocket.
Yes.
What is that for?
It is for when your thighs get bigger.
Oh, well, there you go. Now we know, and it's been answered. Thanks for joining us today, ma'am. What do you do? What is the supply chain management? Let me ask you that first.
We are a total force integrated organization where we work with active duty people, civilians, and even some reservists. And we're all there doing some enterprise level stuff for supply and logistics. So we have trans over there, we have supply folks, and really we have like a wide range of operations globally.
I still don't understand it, but okay.
Yes.
We're going to talk to, actually, Colonel Courier, Chief Stewart's going to come on and tell us more about SCMS, because you guys have some changes coming on over there as well. So they'll tell us more about the secret cabal that is SCMS.
Stay tuned.
So what do you do at SCMS?
I work in repair network management, and basically it's fairly new, and supply folks collaborate with maintenance people, and we are reducing repair times. So right now the repair time is kind of like 45 to 50 days at the depot. So these repairable assets are being delayed. So right now we've reduced that time by sending them to repair facilities and back shops that are kind of just actually repairing the end item itself and not the whole assembly. And it's just reducing a lot of cost and time for maintainers.
So is that for, what exactly are you focused on one piece of equipment, or are you focused on different pieces of equipment over there?
So we're focused on the repairable equipment, and a cool fact about that is usually we have an item called XF3 items that usually just go straight to the trash. Well, now we find a way to repair those items at this repair facility, and so that's like avoided so much cost gone down the drain.
How do you oversee something like that? What's your
What's my role in all of this?
Yeah, what's your role in all that?
My role is honestly to set up these meetings with the higher beings, the generals and colonels and software engineers, because we're working on optimization tools. So I'm a part of different projects like that to move this further and grow this network, because it's really catching on. It's a really big deal that we're avoiding so much cost wasted on repairing these end items. Because what they're doing is, instead of repairing the end item, they're sending them to depot, and they're like repairing a bigger assembly. Okay. And it's costing more money to fix that bigger assembly instead of what's really broken, the little piece that's really broken.
Is this like a process that you perfected, or is this just a process that you picked up somewhere?
No, honestly, it just takes a little bit of supply knowledge. It takes some quick learning and just networking capability, because this is a relationship that you're building between supply and maintenance. And like I said, software engineers and different distinguished visitors and things like that, because a lot of people are coming, a lot of generals and colonels are coming down, and they're wanting to be a part of this big initiative. Repair network management is going to be huge. And I know I'm not describing it that well. I've only been in it for like about 2 months.
That's all right.
So I may not be explaining it very well, but it is a huge push right now at headquarters level. Like, this is big.
Are you doing this for? Is this something that you're kind of overseeing for the whole world, at least? Because you guys deal with a lot of stuff that goes around the world. I mean,
yes, we do it for the entire Air Force.
Yeah, because you're not just focused on what's going on here at Scott Air Force Base or the 126th.
No, sir. We're doing this for every Air Force base, even the Air National Guard are a part of this. We're doing guard bases. They're repairing a lot of these assets as well. Wow.
How did so you were enlisted, I'm assuming, before. Yes. How did you become? What made you become an officer?
Honestly, I wanted the challenge. I felt like I could do more, and so I wanted that challenge of doing more, kind of like leaders leading other leaders. I wanted to be that light, right? I wanted to inspire people and kind of be that example. I wanted to lead by example and just be a part of something greater, like make real change, not just kind of talk about it and be an executioner of the job. And I want to say in one quarter, it could be like $59 million of cost avoided.
Wow. So you were, before you became officer, you were enlisted. What rank were you at there?
I was a tech sergeant,
Okay.
and still in the supply field. I was a supply troop.
Okay. Was there somebody that pushed you into becoming an officer? Was it something that you just took upon yourself, or was there some mentor that said, "Hey, we think you'd be a great officer"?
Honestly, so I was active duty first.
Oh, okay.
And when I was on active duty, I can only remember one mentor, one woman who really inspired me, and she was a master sergeant. I came in as an A1C, and she was a master sergeant. And man, I just always admired her. She took me under her wing, which usually senior NCOs don't do back then with the young airmen coming in. But she saw something in me, and she just would always pull me to the side, and she would always tell me, stop going around asking people for the answer. Get in the book. She always had this big supply manual on her desk. And she would always tell me, get in the book, learn the process for yourself, and not just the quick answer. And I just love the way she carried herself, because, you know, sometimes as women, we kind of get lost in this uniform. So I liked how she still looked feminine. She was still presentable, always in regs, just very professional. I love the way she carried herself and knew her craft and excelled in her craft. She made chief.
Wow.
Eventually. So yeah, no one really pushed me to the officership, but I know I always had her as a mentor. And I mean, I was in ROTC in high school. I just always wanted to serve. So I just always looked for that next challenge.
What was her name?
Linda Washington. Well, she retired Chief Linda Washington.
So what's the transition like? How long have you been second lieutenant now?
Ooh, since December, so about 3 months.
What's that transition been like for you?
It's been difficult, because it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Because I love jumping in and doing the work. I'm an executioner. So I'm like, okay, I want to get in, I want to knock it out, and okay, we're done. I want to perfect this, and we're done. But I'm learning how to step back and pull people together, pull teams together, see a bigger picture, look at it from a different scope. So it's interesting. It keeps me on my toes. So I love the challenge, and it's different every day. See, when you're enlisted, you know, hey, I'm coming to work, I'm doing my work, and then that's it. But when you're an officer, it changes every day.
Has your goals changed since now that you become an officer? How do you see your career now? Has it changed your idea of your career becoming an officer?
Yes, it has, because when I was enlisted, my goal was, you know what? I want to be an officer. I didn't know what kind of officer I wanted to be, but I knew that I wanted to be an officer and be an example for others, be a mentor. And then now I'm like, okay, well, I do need to know what kind of officer I want to be. I want to be my squadron commander. So
that's great.
That's my new goal.
What do you look for? I mean, I don't know if we actively seek out mentors. I don't know if that's how, I mean, it just seems like we kind of, I don't know, for me, it just seems like I just kind of fall in with a mentor. Just somehow it just, is there something that you look for in a mentor that you go, hey, you know, this is my mentor?
Yes, honestly, it's someone who you feel comfortable with, because your dreams, your aspirations, like your vision of where you want to go in life, that's kind of your baby. That's kind of personal. So it has to be someone that you're willing to share that with, and they're able to pour into you. So it can't be someone where you look at them and you say, you know what, they don't even have their self together. Like, so it has to be someone where you see that, okay, they're really taking care of business. I like the way they're doing that, and so I inspire to align myself with them.
You were talking about you were a supply troop before. Were you at SCMS before, or were you at LRS?
Yes, sir, I was. When I joined the Air National Guard, I actually joined into the 126 SCMS.
Wow. What made you join the 126th?
Honestly, because I liked that it was here at Scott, I wasn't too familiar with the Guard because I had just got off active duty and went to college full time. And I was in Carbondale, so it was close by. And it was something I was familiar with because, like I said, it's here at an active duty base. So I was kind of familiar with it. I was comfortable with it. I was a supply troop when I was on active duty.
Oh, okay.
So the chips just fell in line.
What did you study at Carbondale?
Information system technology.
Hey, that's got to help this job that you have right now, right? I mean, just being able to...
Listen, technology, if you're not really using it and keeping up with it, it will pass you by.
Yeah, I'm sure. Where'd you join? Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, I joined active duty in St. Louis, right across the river, because my mom lived here.
Oh, okay. So when did you join the Air Force?
Now you're trying to get close to my age.
Man. I joined the Army in 1992.
Okay, it was after that.
Okay. See? Okay, so that's fine. How long did you spend in the active Air Force?
6.5 years. I got out to pursue education full time. I was deploying a lot. This was back when we had set AEFs and we were deploying like every other year. I was having children and I was like, you know what? I really need to knock out this degree because once again, the goal was always to be an officer.
So you joined the National Guard. What made you join the National Guard? I mean, was there not the reason? Because I guess we don't hear that much about the National Guard when we're active. You hear mostly about the reserves and things like that.
So, and that's true, because like I said, I didn't know much about the Air National Guard, except for when I deployed, I would always see them kind of rotate kind of quicker than us. So I didn't know, but when I tried to apply for the active duty officer boards, it was really difficult. And then they were kind of kicking out a lot of the officers. So it was just timing. Right. Like I said, the chips just kind of fell a line, and I learned more about it, and just specifically this unit here. So this was all I knew, and I said, hey, they have something going on here I want to be a part of.
What was it about this, the 126 that drew you here?
Like I said, that they had planes, it was close by, and honestly, this base was the first base that I visited ever. When I was joining the military, this was a visit in the delay entry program.
Yeah.
Scott Air Force Base. So it was just, all the signs were there. It was like, go to Scott, go to the 126.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, I don't even know. I'm from St. Louis, but we moved back, and I needed to join a Guard unit, and for some reason, I don't know why, I just assumed there was a Guard unit here at Scott, and thankfully, there was a Guard unit here at Scott, because I did not want to have to go to Whiteman Air Base for drill every month. And so you're from Memphis. You joined. You were in the Air Force for 6.5 years.
Yes.
What's been your thought on the new hairstyle changes? How's that? What's that been like for you? How do you see your?
When I first saw it, I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm so brainwashed, you know? And then I was like, you know what? As a leader, I'm going to make sure that I understand this reg, and I'm going to lead by example, because a lot of times we read regs, but we don't really interpret it the same as others. And so I said that I was going to be an example. I have my ponytail in right now.
That's awesome.
And so people can look at me and say, you know what, that's how you wear the ponytail. It still looks professional. So just leading by example like I wanted to.
It's Women's History Month. You talked about that chief. Who are some other women that maybe have influenced you in the military?
Honestly, she was the only one. When I was coming through, there wasn't many women in my units that I really looked up to. But here in the Air National Guard at the 126, honestly, Chief Stewart, as a matter of fact, there's a tradition with officers, your first salute with an enlisted person. She was my first salute because she was always kind of hard on us, like that motherly tough love. And so I kind of I don't know, respected that and liked that about her, that toughness and that push, because sometimes we need that. And so I liked how she pushed me, and so I looked up to her.
Is there something that, I don't know, fellow or women officers can do to help improve the, I don't know, what am I trying to say? Just to help improve the women's roles in the military? I mean, it just seems so old-fashioned to even say that, but it still seems like you still see an issue with women in the military, maybe getting respect and being respected. Do you see that, or do you see less? Are you seeing less of that?
Honestly, I can't speak to that because I've never experienced that. The only thing I can speak to is representation, and I love how Major Lubeck had invited the women officers of the wing together, and when we looked around the room, I want to say maybe it was 12 of us, and I was like, wow, such a small number, but things like that mentorship program, that's what's going to help us getting out there and just representing, showing what we do, maybe going around to the different units and showing that we are here and we're making an impact in the wing, and to encourage young women that desire to be an officer but may not have that encouragement, have that push to say, hey, you can do it too, and we will help you do it.
What can men do differently to help lead female troops? Is there something we can do differently? I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that, or is it something like that you wished you would have had when you were an enlisted troop in Kadena, or even here at Scott?
Honestly, I don't think that there's something that men can literally do, except for just keep the door open. Continue to have these conversations, like these podcasts, like I said, these mentorship programs, and just keep the conversation going and keep the doors open, because we're coming. There's going to be more.
That's great. It's a great. I mean, just talking about it, I think is a great idea. Just because I often want. I mean, because I push my daughter. I don't push her that hard, but at the same time, we push her and we try to make her understand why we are pushing her. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, I mean, she's a straight A student. I don't have anything to worry about it, but just like, hey, I don't know. I just am trying to always be that reinforcer. Like, this is why we push you, and this is why we want you to be better, because back in the day, women nobody thought that women could do this, and it's just like,
yeah, it's good to, like you said, she has good grades, but it's all about your confidence and believing that not only you can do it, but you can achieve even greater.
Right. And maybe that's a good point. How do we build their confidence? Maybe that's what I'm looking at, because I hate to say that, but they lack that confidence, and I think that's. But how do we build their confidence? How do we say, hey, you can do this?
Continue the conversations. Continue the exposure. Just like all these, I think they call it STEAM now. I don't really know why we call it STEAM with the art in there, but honestly, just the exposure, the putting them in those different roles, like you said, being hard on them and pushing them, not hard as in you have to do this because you have to be the difference, but because hey, you can do it. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. You may not see it, so that's why we have to expose them to these different things, different programs. Bring her up here with us, with the other women officers. she may want to be a female pilot.
Yeah.
A lot of times we just don't see it. So just exposure and conversation.
Yeah, I think I think you're right. Yeah, exposure and conversation. You and I are fully vaccinated.
That's right.
That is a weight off. Is that a weight off your shoulder?
Yes, it is in a way. My son actually has asthma, so I'm still kind of still kind of cautious, and I'm waiting for them to, roll it out for children. But it is kind of a weight off of my shoulder, and it's like we're saving the world, right?
Yeah, we're doing it. And boy, we both got the Moderna. How was that second vaccine?
I was, once again, trying to be, a good airman. I went running so I can stay physically fit. And when I ran on the same day that we got our second shot, and oh my goodness, I was laid out on the couch, not moving. And I'm like, what did I do?
Yes, that day we got it on Monday. It was a day off from my training program. So I was like, okay, I'm cool. And then so I got up Tuesday morning. I got up with the worst chills I've ever had that I can ever remember. Exhausted. I was like, I ain't working out. There's no way. My heart rate was way up there. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, my body didn't know what to do. It's like, are we sick or are we healthy? Like, what is going on? Why are you exercising?
Yeah. Cut it out. Stop. But by Wednesday afternoon, I finally started to feel better.
Yes.
But as I kept telling myself, so much better than COVID.
Yes, absolutely. Thankfully.
Yeah, we are so lucky. I can say it. I never had to have a cotton swab put up my nose. I survived that.
I did COVID duty, and we had to get tested. That's the word.
Is it? Oh, goodness. I was like, oh. My wife's son and daughter, we went swimming all day last summer, and they thought they had COVID. So they had to go get their nose swabbed, and I was just like, for whatever reason, I did not. Because we were jumping into the pool, and what I read about was basically what happens is you jump into the pool so much from the water gets pushed up into your head, and so they thought they had COVID, but it was just like some kind of like a pool cold or something like that, something weird.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
But thankfully,
Thank God.
It was.
Oh, I'd watched them get the thing put up there.
It's not pleasant.
I made it. My one claim to fame from COVID. I did not have to get it to get the cotton swab up my nose. What do you hope to represent to your daughters?
Oh my gosh, perseverance and strength and confidence. Oh my goodness, mainly strength, because just like now, so I had to obviously go away for OTS, and so I had to deal with being away from my children and then come back and be fully immersed in the remote learning and then learning my job and still having to do training. And then I'm in a master's program.
Oh my goodness.
And then of course I still have to have time for my husband and then housework and things of that nature. So I want to instill in her strength. Do not get deterred by, being that family woman and not still pursuing your career dreams.
What was OTS like?
It was similar to basic, but it was a lot different in the sense of they want you to figure it out. It's not, hey, do what I tell you to do the way I tell you to do it. It's you figure it out and you're always wrong. So good luck with that.
Well, there you go. That really instills some confidence in you.
But now that it's over, I can look back and say, oh, that was a great experience. But going through it, it's like, what have I done?
How long is OTS?
It's 8 weeks, and it's ever changing. They're still trying to figure it out. But yes, it is 8 long weeks.
8 long weeks. You got 6 kids. You got to deal with virtual learning in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes.
And you're in a master's program. What's your master's?
Public policy.
That's my master's.
Really?
I have a master's in public policy.
Oh my goodness! Look at there. We have something in common.
Yes. Who are you going through?
SIUE.
Oh man, I got mine through New England College, and I have a degree in political science and a master's in public policy. Where has that gotten me? You're looking at it.
But this is good, though. I'm really excited to do this.
I love public policy. I love it to death. My master's thesis was on Get Out the Vote, which is all part of Because what I in our program for our master's program, what we did was we went through like we studied how policies were put into place, and then we started breaking down each area of public policy, economy, internet, all this stuff. But it was I could talk about it all day. Let's do a podcast on that. Talk about some public policy. I'm the nerd on that scopes Facebook to correct people. Go, actually, that's not how it works.
That's awesome.
Yeah, somebody wanted to put up a meme about sending. What did it say? Do other countries send America taxes? And I said, well, actually, they do. It's called buying treasury bills. But anyways, I'll not bore everybody with talk of public policy. How long have you been into the program?
About a year.
So how long is that program?
It's a 2-year program, but I'm taking my time with it because I do have so much going on.
Oh yeah.
So I'm taking like one class here, one class there.
Oh, I don't blame you. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of reading.
Yes.
A lot of reading. Holy cow.
Yes.
It was that or public administration. Now I wish I had taken public administration. But don't let me deter you in that. Because
mine's combined. It's public administration and policy analysis. But I just say public policy.
Oh, that's so much better. Just because people look at on my resume and they go, oh, you have a master's in public policy? What is that? I was like, well, if you need a law passed, I can help you pass that law. If you want to talk to a congressperson, I can help you talk to him. So, yeah, it's an interesting, I love it, though. I'll talk about it all day. All right, so anything else you want to add?
No, I'm just thankful that you selected me to come on today.
Oh.
This is exciting, my first podcast.
Hey. All right, thank you very much. That is Second Lieutenant Tameka Garza from Supply Chain Management Squadron, ma'am. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you. Have a good one.
With your look around the Air Force, I'm Staff Sergeant Eric Mann. President Joe Biden nominated Air Force General Jacqueline Van Ovost to lead the U.S. Transportation Command, a Defense Department combatant command. General Van Ovost currently runs the Air Force's Air Mobility Command. She's a former test pilot with over 4,000 flight hours in more than 30 aircraft and is the highest-ranking woman in the U.S. Armed Forces. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin says diversity makes the nation stronger, and in the military ranks, it enhances the ability to defend the American people. 2 missions, one, the defense of Ramstein Air Base, the other, targeting missiles over the Baltic Sea, were part of a demonstration to see how well U.S. forces, allies, and partners integrate networks for command and control. U.S. Air Forces in Europe worked with the Department of the Air Force Chief Architect to advance the concept of Combined Joint All-Domain Command and Control, or CJAD-C2. The goal is to create a network that allows the U.S., allies, and partners to share and pass data quickly, providing commanders with the best information available. The demonstration highlighted ways to innovate with current systems and to identify where warfighters need assistance. U.S. Navy and Army Europe were part of the demo, along with forces from the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Poland. Physical fitness assessments for airmen and guardians will resume on July 1st, a change from the April start date. The move is to ensure health and safety during the pandemic. When testing resumes, scores will be calculated on a new 3-component scoring system, eliminating the waist measurement. Final decisions on point distribution will be announced in June. Airmen can choose to complete a mock test with the fitness assessment cell or their physical training leader and have those results count as an official test score. Work is also underway to separate scoring into 5-year age groups instead of 10-year increments. And that's your look around the Air Force.
The Advanced Distributed Learning Service, that's ADLS to the kids, is going away, according to the Air Force News Service. It's going to be called myLearning. The digital platform is coming to the Air Force portal beginning March 18th. The ADLS website will be inaccessible to users March 26th. I'll put a link in the description so you can read the whole story. You can find all of our links on Linktree. That's linktr.ee /. 126ARW. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can also download this on your favorite podcast app. If you want to pass on some information to us here, you can email roll call at 126.arw.pa.mm.org@us.af.mil. Thanks for listening to Roll Call, a 126th Air Refueling Wing podcast focused on people, mission, and community. I'm Tech Sergeant Brian Ellison.